What if I told you that one man, small in stature but massive in influence, became America's worst nightmare during the Vietnam War? His name was General Võ Giáp, and his strategy shattered the U.S. military's confidence, leaving a lasting impact on the war that would change history forever. Born in 1911 in northern Vietnam, Giáp was not just a military leader but a symbol of resilience and strategy. He started as a history teacher and journalist, but in the chaos of colonialism, he became one of the most skilled and formidable generals in the world. His understanding of warfare was deep, and unlike many traditional military leaders, he wasn't interested in playing by the same rules. As the French colonial forces left Vietnam after their defeat in 1954 at the Battle of Điện Biên Phủ, Giáp emerged as the leader of the Viet Minh, the resistance group that would eventually face the full might of the U.S. military. He understood something critical that many of his enemies didn't. Guerrilla warfare wasn't just a tactic, it was a philosophy. Giap's genius wasn't in overwhelming force, it was in patience, endurance, and exploiting the weaknesses of his enemies. He understood that to defeat the United States, he didn't need to outmatch them in strength. He needed to outlast them. And that's exactly what he did. While the U.S. military relied on overwhelming air power, advanced technology, and conventional tactics, Giap used guerrilla warfare, hit-and-run tactics, ambushes, and traps that frustrated the American forces at every turn. The jungles of Vietnam were his ally. The terrain made it nearly impossible for the U.S. to maintain control or even know where the enemy was hiding. The turning point, and the moment that truly cemented Giap's place as America's worst nightmare, came in 1968 with the Tet Offensive. The U.S. was led to believe that they were winning the war, that their superior military force was making significant progress. But Giap's forces launched a surprise attack on over 100 cities and towns across South Vietnam, including the U.S. Embassy in Saigon. The attack was a shock to the American public. Despite heavy casualties on both sides, the Tet Offensive exposed a stark reality: the enemy was much stronger and more organized than previously thought. The U.S. military had underestimated Giap's ability to plan and execute such a complex and large-scale operation. But Giap wasn't just a master tactician, he was also a genius when it came to psychological warfare. The Tet Offensive was not just a military assault, it was a psychological one. While the North Vietnamese suffered heavy losses, the attack destroyed the American public's confidence in the war. The media coverage of the violence and chaos made the American public question the true cost of the war and the likelihood of success. Giap's ultimate victory was not just on the battlefield, but in shaping the perception of the war in the minds of the U.S. citizens. This erosion of public support would eventually pressure the U.S. government to withdraw from Vietnam. Võ Nguyên Giap's legacy is a reminder that war is not just about firepower or technology. It's about will, strategy, and psychology. His ability to outmaneuver one of the world's most powerful militaries is a testament to his genius. Giap proved that sometimes a small but determined force, armed with knowledge of their environment and a clear sense of purpose, can bring even the mightiest adversaries to their knees. America's nightmare wasn't just the battles fought in the jungles of Vietnam. It was the realization that the enemy they faced had no intention of surrendering, no matter how many bombs were dropped or how many lives were lost. Giap made sure of that, and his story remains one of the greatest examples of asymmetrical warfare in history. If you're fascinated by military strategy and the untold stories of history, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us as we dive deeper into the world-changing figures and battles that shaped our world.